to add more content that I can edit.
I just woke up like 30 minutes ago, man.
Woke up like this. Well, I only got 5 hours of sleep, so I really don't feel bad for you. So. It's easy to pick and choose verses that perfectly fit our situation. Oftentimes, though, when we do that, we kind of misunderstand, we misuse the verse, and we look like idiots because of it. Idiots! So we're going to be talking about that in a new sort of series here called Misused Verses. And here I am with Gabe. Gabe, how are you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm doing good.
That's good. All right, so today we are probably going to be talking about the most popular misused verse, which in my opinion would probably be Matthew 7:1. And if you already know what verse I'm talking about, you are probably one of the people that misuse it. Idiot! Or hopefully this is it. You just read your Bible enough, and I hope that's it. You know, that's what we should be doing here at Actively Seek. You know, read your Bible 10 minutes a day. All right, so let's start off, Gabe. This was your idea to do misused verses. Why did you come up with this idea?
Well, you know, I feel like a lot of people take the Bible out of context and stuff, and they kind of use it, I don't know, to kind of manipulate it to win their own arguments. And also, you know, it was a good video idea for you and stuff. You can make more videos
I need some more video ideas, so... But, yeah, I agree with you there. The world will take anything they can, especially something as good as the Bible. If they can use that to you know, justify their means, then that's evil.
Yeah.
Unless they use it in the right context, of course. But before we begin, let me just say that Gabe and I are not Bible experts. We're just two dudes who like talking about the Bible and talking about, you know, different things about the Bible, because we love the Bible. We love God. And you should too. So like and subscribe. And if you like and subscribe, then hopefully, hey, maybe I'll go to college and actually be a Bible expert for you guys. So, yep, we are just two dudes chilling with a Bible, 5 feet apart.
Because they're not gay.
The verse is, so Matthew 7:1, I said that. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. So let's talk about the way the world views this verse.
I think how the world views it is they kind of look at it as almost a crutch, so they can kind of, you know, get away with their own sin and stuff, and, you know, they'll say, oh, well, if you come after that, you're judging me and stuff, and, you know, you're not supposed to do that.
No, I would agree with you in that context. In my personal experience, I think I've had this verse used on me like maybe 3 times in my life.
Really?
All from Christians, or supposedly Christians. Some of them kind of supported the gay pride, the LGBTQ, AI plus movement, and that's kind of their basis of using that on me.
Well, it sounds mighty suspicious to me.
But, you know, all of which were all in the wrong context. They were all misused verses. But I would agree with you about how the world, you know, uses it as a crutch. You know, like they're thinking Jesus demands universal acceptance.
Yeah.
For what he's doing. You know, for what, you know, whatever your sin is, you say, you know, don't judge me. And they're thinking Jesus says, hey, don't judge me. I have my sin. You know, accept my sin.
Yeah.
You know. The other one, which is very less popular, but I have seen this view, where people say, don't judge at all. Like, what right do you have to judge?
Who are you, Mrs. Government?
And I'm like, you can't possibly go through life without making any sort of judgment.
Yeah, that's impossible.
I mean, first thought in my mind is think of Snow White. You know, I don't know what she was thinking. There was a crazy old lady looking with some weird apples. If she had better judgment, maybe she used some judgment, stop listening to the world today, maybe she would have been like,
stranger danger.
Yeah, exactly. I ain't eating that apple. So it's impossible not to judge. We have to make judgments to make choices. So you know, one reason a lot of people get misused verses wrong is because they only take a part. Like, that is just a small part of what Jesus is talking about.
A lot of people take a verse and then take it out of context.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They don't look at the context.
Yeah, they don't read the rest of the verse. You know, it says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged," which is, you know, powerful enough in itself.
Yeah.
But like, there's a whole nother 4, 5, 6, 7 verses or whatever, and so we'll read. I'm gonna read through the whole thing right now, and then we'll do some commentary on it. So, So, Matthew 7:1, do not judge, or you too will be judged, for in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. So that is Jesus' commentary on judging others. And we're going to take a little break here, make sure the mic's keeping up. All right, so let's talk about what Jesus is really saying about judging here. Do you have anything to put while I look at my notes? I got some. So, all right, so Jesus isn't saying. It's very confusing when Jesus says, "Do not judge," because you're thinking, "Oh, don't judge."
Yeah.
But what Jesus is actually saying, he is saying, "Don't judge," but he's not saying not to judge. He's just saying, hey, be careful when you judge.
Yeah.
He's talking about, he's kind of enforcing a standard.
Yeah.
When you judge, make sure whatever standard you're using, just know that standard is going to be used on you.
I was going to say, when I was reading the verse and stuff, preparing for this, I was really trying to figure out what Jesus was saying, because I'm like, it's impossible to go through life without, judging.
Yeah.
But, like you said and stuff, if you're going to judge, then you're going to be put at a standard. You have to judge and stuff. But,
and that I think the reason Jesus says it is really motivation for us to judge. Watch our standard.
Exactly.
Judge people with grace and mercy. Don't condemn them.
No. Yeah.
And so I think that's what Jesus is really saying when he's saying, don't judge, for you'll be judged. It's more of a, don't judge, because there's going to be a standard at which you'll be judged by. So let's go on further in the verse, and he talks about hypocritical judgment, and he uses a great analogy. You want to talk about that analogy?
Sure. When Jesus talks about, don't look at the speck in your brother's eye because you have a log in your own and stuff, I feel like one of the things that he's saying is, if you're guilty of something and you go out and you point someone else that's also guilty of the same thing and stuff, and then you get found out that you're guilty of that and stuff, you can be pointed out as a hypocrite and stuff, and that just makes you look even worse and stuff than the person.
He's literally talking about hypocritical judgment.
Exactly.
And we'll talk about in a second. We'll talk about how we can break this command and be hypocritical judgers. But I will say a quick story. I actually had been poked in the eye by a couple sticks in my childhood.
Yeah.
I actually had to have an eye patch while it healed. It's not fun having a log in your eye.
Yeah.
So get that out before you try to get the speck out. I love that analogy. I love when Jesus talks, like that. But I can understand his analogies.
Yeah.
But that's because I've been reading the Bible for quite a while now. So, and you should too. Sorry.
That's all right. I like when Jesus talks in analogies, because it kind of, it makes it easier to kind of comprehend what he's saying and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. All right, so let's talk about ways we break this command. I made a list here.
All right.
I don't know if you came up with anything of your own, but I can read my list.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
So I wrote ways we break this command. We break this command when we think the worst of others.
Yeah.
Obviously. We break this command when we only speak to others of their faults.
Yeah.
We break this command when we judge an entire life only by its worst moments. We break this command when we judge the hidden motives of others.
Yeah.
We break this command when we judge others without considering ourselves in their same circumstances. And we break this command when we judge others without being mindful that we ourselves will be judged. So that's some ways that we end up breaking this command.
Yeah.
All of which, are, it's pretty much basically going to that first part, the motivation of why we should judge others, and knowing that we're going to be judged.
Yeah.
So that we will judge others with grace and mercy and kindness.
Yeah.
You know, putting ourselves in other people's circumstances, saying, hey, this person, you know, we might not know it all. We might not know.
Swing.
Yeah. Just sit on the swing. But yeah, we might not know what they're going through. So judge kindly. You know. What is the purpose of the pearls to the swine verse? So it's the last little bit. So we talked about what Jesus is talking about when judging others. We talked about you know, his analogy and hypocritical judging. Some ways we break the command to not judge.
Yeah.
And then now let's talk about that last little bit, the pearls to swine, the dogs and all that. What the dogs are sacred. Don't give what dogs are sacred, whatever. But let's talk about that last little bit. So.
All right. I know, you know, when I was reading, you know, the study Bible and stuff, David Guzik, he kind of compared it to, you know, people that just kind of reject the word and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, people that have a hardened heart.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so it's kind of like, you know, no matter what you say and stuff, they're not gonna listen. So it's kind of like, you know, it's not even worth kind of putting your time into that and stuff.
Yeah. Like, it's like, no, you know, obviously, why would you ever throw pearls to swine?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, why would you ever give the good news to someone you know is going to be, you know, judgmental, who's going to, you know, decline it, who's going to, you know, cause a fight over it.
Yeah.
But
I do believe that Jesus can still reach them, though.
Oh,
it's
I mean, even if you say it, you're slowly planting a seed.
Exactly,
and, you know, obviously, it's like with, you know, Pharaoh and his heart being hardened.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be up to them.
Yeah.
Whether they, you know, believe it or not. And hopefully, you know, God does amazing things, and he can easily keep putting, you know, things in the path for somebody to, you know, wake up and say, hey, maybe God's trying to tell me something. But again, it's still ultimately your decision whether you want to believe it's God or not. So yeah, that's pretty much that verse there. That is the misused Matthew verse, and I hope now that you kind of know the real meaning behind it, you don't misuse it ever again.
Idiot!
So this has been our first episode of Misused Verses. I think it went pretty well. Obviously, as always, remember to read your guys' Bible. Remember to actively seek Jesus. Remember to spend time with him. And remember to pray. And I'll see you guys next time. All right, see ya.
We were filming, right?
Yeah, we were filming.
You were?
Yeah, it's filming.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. We're live! Oh, sorry, I don't have the light, right?